Hi everyone, I am Danielle Graff of the Arima Public Library, here today with Miss Oprah Francis, author and illustrator behind The Adventures of Marvin the Mischievous Manicou. So, Oprah, tell us, what will you be doing with us today?
Well, Danielle, I have an interesting activity for you here today. Today we will be making Issa the Iguana, who is one of the animals from The Adventures of Marvin the Mischievous Manicou.
Before we make Issa, could you share with us 3 interesting facts about her?
Sure, Danielle. Well, firstly, Issa could lose her tail.
What? Lose her tail?
Yep, just like that. Issa can break off her tail to escape danger if a predator grabs a hold of her tail. But don't worry too much, it could grow back once it's a clean break.
That's an interesting way to escape danger.
Yes, it is. And her tail is also very special because she uses it to help her swim.
Really?
In the wild, when an iguana is trying to escape danger as well, it will look for a large body of water, jump in, and use its tail to propel its way.
Could you tell us one more interesting fact about Issa?
One thing a lot of people don't know about iguanas, Issa loves her vegetables, especially her leafy greens.
Ah yes, that's important for our diet. So, is Issa a herbivore?
Yes, she is. And for those of you who may not know, a herbivore is an animal that only eats plants, like leaves and vegetables.
This is some really great information. Now that we have learned more about Issa and iguanas in general, we'll head straight into today's activity. So, Oprah, tell me, how are we going to make Issa?
Well, Danielle, firstly, we need to start with the materials. So let's look at what materials we need to make Issa. So you know the egg trays you usually have in your refrigerator that you throw away? You could actually cut out the base of each and use them in craft activities.
Great.
So that's what we have right here. So we have 2 of those, one for you, one for me. We have some green paper. So this will be her body. You could use cardboard, you could use Bristol board. My preference is paper because you have a bit more flexibility with the paper. But you could improvise, right? We also have some orange paper to add some spice and flavor to Issa's body as well. And we also have our different instruments to help us along the way. So we have our glue. I'm using a glue gun today, but you could use regular liquid glue if you so choose. We have our scissors, we have our ruler, and we have our markers as well that we will be using to do different patterns on Issa's body. And some paint to give her face some life and color. So let's add some green paint. So instead of paintbrushes, today we'll be using cotton instead, just to dab and to give it a bit more texture, right? Okay. And just add some paint around. Just like that. We have some color on her face. Yes. So we did this first because, you know, sometimes paint would usually take some time to dry. So let's just put this to the side. Okay. So that will dry and we'll move on to her body. The green paper we had from earlier, we have some folding to do. So let's take our ruler and I'm just going to take off about 1 inch or so from the edge of the green paper. So I'm going to measure just about 1 inch here. So you use your pencil just to average on the paper, yeah. Right? And then I'm going to draw a line across. And we're going to cut off this excess piece of green right here. Okay. Right, so taking our scissors and we're cutting off about 1 inch from the green sheet of paper. And let's start folding her body. Right, so we're just going to fold in half, just like this, right? Then we're going to, using the crease as a marker, we're going to draw a line from the center, the crease to the center, to the corner, just like this. So draw one line here, and we draw another line here. Right, so let's just try to get it on point, as straight as possible. All right. So you end up with a shape, a triangle like this. And you can see the crease to the center, right? So now we're going to cut this excess material using the line as a guide for our cutting. All right, so let's get that nice and straight. And using the pencil and the ruler really helps. It gives you a better guide, keeps you in check.
Make sure it's symmetrical.
So you end up with a triangle like this. All right, so it's coming together. So we're going to fold each edge into the center crease, right? So just like that. So we have one side. So we put the paper to the crease, the edge of the paper to the crease, hold it down, and use our fingers, just apply some pressure, just to set it in like this, all right? And then we're going to do the same thing to the next side. So from the edge to the center crease. So when you're done, you should end up with a shape looking like this. So let's have the orange paper. We are going to cut a strip of the orange paper. Not too wide, probably about 1 inch thick. Actually, I'm going to do 2 strips. All right, and we're just going to cut those 2 strips out. Iguanas tend to have what I like to call a little mohawk running from the middle of the head straight down its back, down to its tail. So these strips will form the base of that little mohawk. So we're giving, right, so about 1 inch thick, 1 inch wide. So we're going back to our paper and we have it folded in half. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick each strip along that paper like this. So we just apply a little bit of glue, not too much, just enough. Right, straight down. Right, and we're just going to apply the strip like this. Right. And we're going to do the same for the next side as well. So 1 strip of glue coming across like that, and we're going to apply the strip of paper.
Nice.
And apply some pressure. Just like this. So when you're done, you see it folding to the inside like this. So now we're going to take our scissors and the crease we had from before that you're still seeing running to the center here, we're going to cut from the orange strip just to that line.
Okay.
All right? And we're going to cut it probably about 2 centimeters apart. If you like a centimeter apart, you could average it to suit.
Okay.
Right, so just little strips up to that middle crease there. So just like this. Right. Take our time. Alright. So you know we need to be really careful with these scissors. Be careful with your fingers. Oh yes, thank you. Right, so that's okay if it falls off. You could always fasten it with the glue after.
Okay.
Right, just like that. Probably up to here, so. And we could end at that point.
Okay.
So when you're done, it will open like this. Right, so if some of the pieces fall off, that's no problem. As I said, you could always stick them with glue after. So the reason why we cut the little slices would have been to give Issa a bit more flexibility, to make her body a bit more like a slinky, so she could actually bend like an iguana. And what we're going to do to complete the mohawk, as I like to call it,
Really does look like a mohawk.
so we're just going to cut some little triangular shapes, and you can do this as you see fit. So just cut to the edge here, cut a little there. So just to make it little triangular shapes, so it would really look like the mohawk of an iguana.
Yes, get that finish.
Right, so you could always tidy it up after, and you could average the suit. Right, so just be careful with the little excess glue, and we're just going to cut these little pieces. So you can see the shape of her back really coming in, all right? So Issa is a very funky iguana. Funky and colorful.
Yeah, she reminds me of a dinosaur as well.
Oh. Right, so we just get these pieces. For this last piece, I'll just put one cut going straight across, just to curve it out a bit.
Okay.
And you can see the shape coming along.
Yeah.
So if you have markers, color pencils, you could probably just add a couple circles, a couple dots, lines here and there, just to give her body a bit more texture.
Okay.
Right, so I'm just going to put some curve patterns and a couple circles here and there.
Just to customize it.
Yes, I love the heart, I love the squiggly shapes. So remember the extra folding we did a bit earlier?
Yes.
That is going to come in handy now. So we still have our creases, this crease to this side and this crease to that side. So what we're going to do, we're going to fold those two pieces of the paper into each other so that they overlap.
Okay.
So when you fold it like that, you will get a sort of triangular shape for Issa's body, and you would see that long lizard shape
Yes, it's really coming in.
come to life.
Yes.
So what we're going to do, we have it folded in. Just going to apply a bit more glue to the center here. All right, put it a little close to the edge just to seal it. All right. Right, be careful with the glue, have a lot of excess glue. And we're going to fold it in. Be careful with your fingers. And use your fingers to apply some pressure. So, we have Issa's body coming along. And just a note, remember earlier when we started with the green paper, we cut off about an inch off of the green paper?
Just about, yes.
Just about an inch. So the reason why we cut off the inch, we wanted to get a very slim body like this, so we needed to get rid of some excess paper. So that part isn't necessary, but it depends on the size of the iguana you want to make.
Oh, okay.
And also, this narrower shape will fit nicely in
For the head.
with the head, right here, right? So let's work towards sticking the head onto the body, right? So we're going back to some of the excess paper we had from earlier, right? So we're going to take one of the green strips, right? So I'll just cut it in half. So one for you and one for me. So what we're going to do, for this part you could use tape or you could use glue. It's really up to you, but we just need to take our time and be a bit careful, right?
Okay.
So we're going to fold this in, fold one side in, and fold the next side in, so that we have a shape looking like this.
Yes.
That will fit nicely right here,
Oh, okay.
just like that, right?
Right?
Right, so fold it in.
Like this.
Then
like this again.
Yes. So we crease it,
Right.
and then we're going to apply some glue.
Edges.
Just to the middle here, on one side, and some glue to the next side as well. Right? So be careful with your fingers. And you're just going to try to get that on the inside. So you could do one side at a time. Tap each side down with your finger to hold in place.
Pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh, perfect. Oh, look at Issa. Right, so Issa's really coming along. What we're going to do, we're going to apply half head to the body.
Okay.
So the head will fasten like this. So we're just going to apply a tip of glue to the top and a tip of glue to the bottom so that it sticks at these points.
Okay.
You could also put to the edge, it depends on where the head would fit, right? So I'm just going to apply, well actually I'll apply the glue.
On the inside.
Yeah, so just on the edge here.
Yeah.
So just be careful because the glue may run.
Okay.
So don't put too much because we don't want it to run too much. Right, so these 4 points. We have her body coming along nicely. So let's give Issa a bit more life. So we're going to add the googly eyes on to the face. So using your glue, just put 2 dots, one to the left, one to the right. Not too much glue because you don't want any oozing out to the side. So be careful with the little excess bits. And we're going to add the googly eyes. So just apply a bit of pressure with your finger. And the googly eyes. And the googly eyes.
Issa can see.
Issa can see. Let's let Issa rest a bit. So we give some time for the googly eyes to dry. Yeah. So now, Issa needs to walk.
Oh yes, definitely. If she can see.
She needs to walk. So let's move on to her feet. So we have our orange pipe cleaners here. So if you like, you could use green pipe cleaners instead, because the iguana's feet would usually be green. I chose orange so it would match with her mohawk because I want Issa to look funky, right? So we have our orange pipe cleaners. The good thing with pipe cleaners, they're very flexible. So what we're going to do, we're just going to fold them into her feet, right? So we're folding the middle, we're holding it to the middle and we're just bending it in. Right? Right? But just let it go a bit higher so you leave some to the top. So fold it up, yeah, continue like that. But a little higher. Right? So up, yeah. So you leave some excess to the top. So the same with the next side.
I got it here.
And you're folding in the excess pieces.
Okay. On the top.
Just like that. Perfect. Remember, we left the center bit here.
Yes.
And with the excess pieces, we're going to let that fall under the Scotch tape so that it wouldn't poke out.
Okay.
So we're just going to rest this here and apply the Scotch tape like this. Right?
Yes.
As much as possible, let it be secure so that it will move about. You may need more than one piece of Scotch tape just to ensure that it's secure.
Okay.
So I'm just going to add another piece just to be on the safe side because I want Issa to be secure.
But you want the legs going anywhere.
Alright. So we have this coming together. And we're going to do the same thing for the back leg. Right, so just taking some Scotch tape. And we're going to stick this to the back as well. Right? So we have this to the back here. Apply the Scotch tape.
All right. Oprah, thank you so much for being with us today. If anyone wants to find out more about these animals, where should they go?
Well, Daniel, if persons want to find out more about Issa, the iguana, Marvin, the Mischievous Manicou, or any of the other characters, you could get the full book series of The Adventures of Marvin, the Mischievous Manicou, which is out now. And you could also follow Marvin the Manicou on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more updates on the characters and the books. And also tune in to Nalis on Facebook and Instagram for the next episode of the Marvin and Friends Craft and Storytime series.
Well, folks, you heard it here.